Welcome here. It's so good to see you.
Yeah, good to
Yeah.
be here. Good to see you.
Yeah. So I'm not sure that Rick needs much of an introduction, but perhaps to some. So Rick pastors in the East Coast, and he is a really tremendous and established artist and painter, and also I just have such a deep affection for the level of thought, the depth, let's say the depth of thought that you've put in. I mean, you have logged some serious time and some serious hours thinking about creativity in what it how it manifests itself, what it means to us, what it means for community, and I just really appreciate that. So, with that, I'm just going to give you the floor. You can introduce yourself and do what you tell me when you want me to play that video, and I'll pull it up.
Okay. Yeah,
And
not yet,
yeah,
but
you just
good.
tell me when
Okay.
I'm at your service, my friend.
Good. And usually I show the image right away, but I need to a preamble, a
Go for it.
little bit, preface it or whatever. But the image that I've painted when we were in 2 months ago when we were at the prayer summit in Edmonton, I had this idea, and it wasn't fully evolved, and so I did an image. I think I called it Solitude. Anyway, I can't remember. But do you remember? No, that wasn't God. That was my wife up
I
there.
was going
Well,
to
sort
say
of like
that's
God. But
exactly what that looked like.
um, and so then we got home. A month later, we were into isolation, and this was really a big shock. It has been for everyone in our nation or around the globe. And at first, we were the first stuff that was going on, and the image I'm going to talk about is called Solitude Shatters. And the first thing that was going on was we were all thinking about do we stockpile food? And yes, I got a lot of toilet paper and all of that stuff. And then as a few weeks rolled by, I realized that something of the old life that we had been living was its framework was starting to crumble, and maybe in a good way. At first, I thought it was a bad way. At first, I got my financials to see how my portfolio was doing, and that was not good. But since then, I decided not to think about that at all. And across Canada, we've had connection with people doing creative things in our church, creative things on Zoom, Zoom crazy, and in our family as well. We've actually had more face to face with so many people than we ever did before. Now, I'm not saying I like this, but I'm saying something has shattered. Something of the illusion of what solitary living, where you have everything in control in your life, and now you don't have it. With imposed social distancing, we don't have control. And it's like God got us back. It's like God sort of got a hold of us and in our areas of creativity and purpose and significant relationships. I don't know, these things are front and center. So, Solitude Shatters, which is an ambiguous title. It could be that solitude as we've known it has been shattered, it shatters, or it could be that the solitude we've been going through and experiencing is shattering something around us. And so, could you show that little 1 minute video clip? And I'll talk during it because it's got no sound.
Yeah, you got it. I'll bring it up here in just a moment.
Okay.
Let me make sure, first of all, that you will be able to be heard. Actually, this might just take a
Testing.
yeah. This might take a minute because I should have thought about this. So let's see how it works.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
we're gonna bring the image up, and then we're gonna give me about 10 seconds to get something figured out, and we're probably gonna restart it. I think is how this might need to work. So just
Okay.
bear with
And in
me.
the meantime, am I still on the screen?
You're still on the screen right now, but you won't be in a second. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah. This is Chris running tech in the wild west here. So
As often, I begin with lots of colors all over the place, and creativity often comes to me out of the flourishes of color. And then I began to put an image into those colors, letting it come forwards. And it's an image of someone saying shush. And watch the colors begin to shift and change, and then it looks like something around it, pieces are coming apart. It's almost like a mirror shattering. Something is blowing apart. And this is over 2 days of painting. And I know when it's done because there'll be a little signature on the bottom. Think about what is the impact as you look at it? What is the impact for you?
Yeah, I'd love to actually get people to just an encouragement for folks to respond with Rick's question there. What you know?
Yeah, what do you see? How does it impact you? There's no right or wrong answer. One of the thoughts that I had while I'm waiting for some questions was that, you know how Jesus said once, he said in John, he comes back after the resurrection and he's among the disciples and he says, peace be with you. He blows on them, receive the Holy Spirit. But he says about peace, he says, my peace I give you. Not the way the peace of the world, but my peace is different. And I have a feeling like that's what's going on for me in this chaotic painting, a shattering of all kinds of structure and things that maybe it's an image of myself, the image is shattered, whatever it is. And Jesus' peace comes. That's what breaks in. So it's something new. It is earth-shattering. It is very much like many of us expected. Some kind of tidal wave was coming this year. We had no idea it was the COVID virus, but we knew something was coming. And you see in the colors there, there is sort of a breaking through, but there is also a kind of an idea that keep on with solitude as we go forwards, because you've not been this way before. None of us have, and we really need to hear that inner voice of God speaking and inspiring us. And the other cool thing is the creativity is more vital and vigorous and ready and burgeoning like spring. It's all around us, everywhere we talk. The music we've been listening to, the images, the ideas, the poetry. There is something that is, I don't want to say birthing us, more of blooming, bursting through. That's it. Did anything come up, Chris?
Oh yes, a whole host of things. I'm just going to
Yeah.
turn this over here so that we can see a whole host of things. I can't keep up. This is beautiful. So we have perceptions shattering in silence, silence being shattered. Somebody sees a mirror shattering where they don't see themselves anymore, but they see God coming through.
Good.
Yep, silence shattering perceptions. The shush is shattering everything that needs shattering. I think
Shush
some of the
shatters.
I think some of the political this is another. I think some of the political stuff, trying to shush people in yet another level in the turmoil, shaking. Just go relax into rest. Well, like absence can be stronger than presence sometimes. That's interesting. Absence can be stronger than presence sometimes. What I've kept secret because of shame needs to be spoken, because Jesus breaks the shackles of shame. Like this is just wonderful. The silencing of untruths we've believed for so long.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, they all are, but that's good.
Yeah.
Silencing.
Yeah. It's
Silencing. There's a breaking through of truth and a new way of reading Jesus, understanding how he impacts our world.
yeah.
For me, I find insular living, where you live to take care of your own, it's insidious and it's really come to the forefront. It's something that I've seen breaking in me.
Interesting.
We long for connecting with people. Anything else, Chris?
Yeah, I'm just I don't my comments feed hasn't updated, so if I'm missing anyone's, that's sorry about that. But one of the things that I see, I can't help but notice, is the color palette that you have in terms of this, sort of on the surface of things, something that might look like a conventional beauty, but without color. It's nighttime or it's colorless, one or the other, or there's like a muted tone, and then
monochrome,
coming out from that is an explosion of not just light, but actually a variety of color. So I noticed that as well in this, and
that's it. I mean, I like that. Good description. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, the curator. Yeah.
I love this. I love here's an interesting other thought. We had an explosion of people interacting with this image, and it taking on such a variety of significance. And Rick, I'm sure some of that was in your mind or heart as you were painting this, but I'm willing to bet not all of that language was part of your.
No, there's so much discovery in it. It has a life of its own. I think that's art by nature of inspiration, but I think it's also the way the Holy Spirit gets a hold of us. We're journeying along. We think we know where we're going, and along the way it shifts, and new meaning comes out of it. And that certainly for me. And when I did attempted this the first time as an idea 2 months ago, I had to stop halfway through, and I told Kathy, my wife, I said, I know we both were talking about what the image was going to be, but I said I really wanted it to stay right there. You can check on my website. You'll see it's a different figure of solitude, but the shattering part, which really covers over everything, I didn't quite. It was a threshold I wasn't ready to do. I don't know when you have something really nice and you don't want to put stuff over top of it.
There's courage in that, because you can't pull that back once you've put a bunch of white on top of in terms of it. I'm guessing it's pretty tricky to undo that kind of.
Yeah.
But I love. I'm so grateful, Rick, that you had the forethought to recognize that there was going to be a process. And to capture the process the way that you did is beautiful. I think that's a really important component in taking this in.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Lovely. Comments coming in. Be still, follow on, keep on, write on. I really like this comment. Not that we have to be comparative. I like this comment more than that comment or whatever. But I resonate with this. I resonate with blooming, blossoming, yes. And I don't know if this is how you meant it, but I like a yes that blooms and blossoms is how I understand that comment, and that's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's goosebumps.
It really is. Really is.
Good.
So people can find this on your website. If are they able to see that process or not this one yet, or?
I will put the process picture and the painting on my website tomorrow.
Okay.
I just finished it today,
have you sold it yet?
Haven't had a chance to. But the video, little clip of the process, I like to do that. It's always helpful.
Yeah.
And the image will be on tomorrow. But what would be really cool is to have some of the feedback, which I'll go to. I guess it's all on Facebook,
it's
right?
All,
so
it's all under the feed. Yep, you can see all of it.
Yeah, I'm old. So, yeah. It's Facebook, right?
It's Facebook.
Okay.
You got it, man.
Good.
Yeah.
Bless you all.
Thank you, Rick. Any 30-second parting thought from Rick Barry?
Oh, for me to say something?
Yep.
Me parting thought?
Yeah.
I challenge you to a duel. No, do some painting. Do some painting. Who cares? Do it and see what you get. And let's collaborate. So do it. Do a song, somebody. Solitude Shatters.
There you go. Beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you, Rick. I really appreciate
Bless
this.
you all.
That was a gift.